Welcome to Iran today, and ladies and gentlemen. Iranian F-14 Tomcat flying over a desert landscape, blending technical detail, military history, and vivid visual imagery. The Persian cat in the skies, an Iranian F-14 Tomcat over the desert. In the arid expanse of the Middle East, where the sun blazes down over windswept sands and jagged mountain ridges, a powerful silhouette cuts across the sky. Twin afterburners glowing with searing orange intensity, wings swept back in high-speed configuration, and fuselage marked by distinct desert camouflage. This is the iconic F-14 Tomcat, soaring under the colors of the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force IRIF. As it thunders above the desert, framed by a crystal blue sky brushed with high cirrus clouds, the Iranian F-14 represents not just a feat of aviation engineering, but a symbol of survival, adaptation, and defiance. It is a machine that, though originally American-made, has taken on a distinctly Iranian identity, a symbol of technological endurance against the backdrop of political isolation. Origins: an American legacy in Iranian hands. The F-14 Tomcat, first developed in the 1970s by Grumman for the United States Navy, was the pride of carrier-based air superiority during the Cold War. Designed with variable geometry wings, long-range radar, and the powerful AIM-54 Phoenix missile system, it became the premier long-range interceptor of its era. Iran, under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, became the only foreign nation ever to acquire the F-14. Between 1976 and 1979, Iran took delivery of 79 F-14A Tomcats, along with an initial batch of 284 AIM-54 Phoenix missiles. At the time, the Shah's military was flush with oil wealth and eager to counter Soviet threats along its northern border. The Tomcat was not only a strategic purchase, it was a technological leap forward, positioning Iran's air force as one of the most advanced in the region. Transformation after revolution. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran's relations with the United States collapsed, and an arms embargo followed. Technical support, spare parts, and new weapons systems were suddenly out of reach. The F-14s, once dependent on a vast supply chain from Grumman and the U.S. Navy, were grounded, or so it seemed. However, the IRIAF proved remarkably resourceful. Through a mix of black market procurement, reverse engineering, and extensive cannibalization of non-flying Tomcats for parts, Iran managed to keep its fleet alive. Engineers and technicians, many trained before the revolution, worked tirelessly to maintain the jets. Domestic defense industries grew around the need to sustain the F-14, giving rise to an Iranian military-industrial complex focused on self-reliance. Today, despite the passing of decades and harsh sanctions, Iran is estimated to operate between 20 and 30 F-14s in various states of airworthiness. These aircraft are no longer simply American exports, they are thoroughly Iranian in character and execution. Visual identity. The desert camouflage. As the F-14 flies over the desert terrain in our imagined scene, its paint scheme is not the U.S. Navy's classic gray-blue but a uniquely Iranian desert camouflage. The pattern features gradients of tan, brown, and green, tones that blend seamlessly into the surrounding Iranian plateau, the Dasht-e-Kavir, and the Zagros Mountains. This regional-specific camouflage marks a transition from carrier-based naval operations to land-based air dominance in an arid theater. Painted on the tail fin is the distinctive roundel of the IRIAF, a green-white-red insignia echoing the colors of the Iranian flag, centered around a stylized emblem that denotes national identity. Underneath the wings and fuselage, Arabic numerals and Persian script subtly indicate the jet's identification code. These markings are more than aesthetics, they are cultural assertions, staking the Tomcat's allegiance to a new national narrative. The afterburners. Power in motion. The centerpiece of this visual scene is the Tomcat's twin afterburners, blazing with a trail of incandescent exhaust. This detail signals the aircraft is operating at high speed, possibly on an intercept or rapid response mission. Afterburners are used when the pilot needs maximum thrust, during takeoff, dogfighting, or high-speed flight. The orange and violet tongues of flame trailing behind the aircraft lend it a primal energy, as though the machine is not merely flying, but roaring across the sky like a predator in pursuit. Even from a distance, the thunderous sound of the twin General Electric TF-30 engines, each capable of producing more than 20,000 pounds of thrust, reaches the ground like rolling artillery. It is a deep, chest-shaking sound, familiar to any Iranian citizen living near airbases like Isfahan, Dezful, or Shiraz. The sky. A theater of sovereignty. Above the Tomcat stretches a vast, cloud-dappled sky, pure blue, high visibility, and filled with the stark light of the Middle Eastern sun. It's not just background, the sky in this scene symbolizes strategic depth and national sovereignty. Iran, surrounded by geopolitical adversaries and under constant surveillance, has long emphasized control of its airspace. The F-14, with its long radar reach and high speed, has been at the forefront of that effort. During the 1980–1988 Iran–Iraq War, the F-14 was Iran's air superiority workhorse. Pilots flying these jets scored dozens of confirmed kills against Iraqi MiGs, Mirages, and Suhois. They often used the radar-guided AIM-54 Phoenix, sometimes at unprecedented ranges of over 100 kilometers. In those years, the Tomcat was more than a jet, it was a guardian of the Iranian sky. Technical elegance. Form meets function. The aircraft's shape is a masterpiece of Cold War engineering. Its swept-back wings, controlled by a variable geometry mechanism, allow it to adjust aerodynamic profile mid-flight, trading lift for speed or agility as needed. In the scene, the wings are swept back, suggesting the aircraft is flying at high speed. The long, pointed nose houses the radar system, once the -9 Aruban Florins, and now likely replaced or heavily modified by Iranian systems. The cockpit, a two-seat tandem configuration, features bubble canopies giving both the pilot and radar intercept officer (RIO) exceptional visibility. The aircraft bristles with antennas, sensors, and hardpoints for external fuel tanks or weapons. Under the fuselage or wings may hang medium-range air-to-air missiles, such as the domestic FAKOUR-90, which Iran claims is a reverse-engineered version of the AIM-54 Phoenix. The hardpoints may also carry shorter-range infrared-guided missiles, or even bombs in a limited ground attack configuration, a role the Tomcat was never designed for but has been adapted to within the IRIAF. National symbolism and strategic relevance. The Iranian F-14 is more than a fighter, it's a cultural and strategic artifact. For decades, it has symbolized the IRIAF's ingenuity and resilience in the face of embargoes and isolation. It is often shown in military parades, air shows, and propaganda broadcasts as a display of national pride. Iranian media frequently shows off footage of Tomcats in flight during military drills, announcing that they are still a relevant and potent part of the country's defense network. In recent years, as regional tensions have risen, with adversaries ranging from Israel to the United States, the F-14's strategic utility has been re-emphasized. Though Iran is now investing heavily in drones, cruise missiles, and cyber capabilities, the Tomcat remains a guardian of airspace and a deterrent symbol. A living relic. What makes this scene of the Iranian F-14 so striking is its duality. It is both a relic of a bygone age and a living piece of modern warfare. It bridges eras and ideologies, designed for Cold War naval battles, but repurposed for desert patrols in a post-revolution Islamic republic. It speaks of engineering brilliance but also the desperation of making do with what one has. Every panel, every bolt on the aircraft reflects hours of maintenance and hard-won knowledge. The image also carries a tone of quiet defiance. Against the odds, this Cold War fighter still flies, not from American carriers, but over Iranian deserts, not in U.S. livery, but in the roundels of a government that once stood in open revolution against its maker. Conclusion. Wings over the desert. In the shimmering heatwaves of the Iranian plateau, the roar of the F-14 Tomcat echoes like a thunderclap across history. As it glides through the sky with afterburners lit and desert camo blending into the sands below, the aircraft is more than just a fighter jet. It is a statement of technological endurance, of national pride, and of a military that, though constrained, has refused to be grounded. This vivid portrait of an Iranian F-14 Tomcat captures not just the aesthetic of high-speed flight, but the legacy of a machine that has endured revolutions, wars, and embargoes, yet still, to this day, rules the skies. For more information please subscribe to my channel Iran Today News.